Hi, and welcome to Ginger English. I'm Sarah, and today we have an A2 level podcast for you. Today, I want to tell you a true story about a man and a little girl. This story is from a small town in Texas. It is a quiet town with small houses and big trees. Many families live there. Many children go to school together. His name is Mark. Mark drives a school bus. He has driven a school bus for 20 years. That is a very long time. Every morning, he wakes up early. He drinks his coffee, then he drives his big yellow bus through the streets. He picks up children from their houses. Every afternoon, he takes them home again. Mark loves his job. He is not just a bus driver. For many children, he is a friend. He knows all the children's names. He knows their favorite songs. He knows who likes the window seat and who likes to sit near the front. He always says, "Good morning," with a big smile. The children love him too. They wave at him every day. But one day, something different happens. A new girl gets on the bus. Her name is Emily. She is 9 years old. She has long brown hair and big brown eyes. But she does not smile. She does not talk. She sits alone near the back of the bus. She looks out the window the whole time. She does not look at anyone. Mark notices her right away. He always notices new children. He says, "Good morning, Emily. Welcome to the bus." But Emily does not answer. She just looks down at her hands. She does not say one word. Days pass. 1 day, 2 days, 1 week. Emily still does not talk. She still sits alone. The other children talk and laugh together. They play games, they share snacks. But Emily stays quiet every single day. She looks very sad. Sometimes Mark sees her eyes are red, like she was crying before school. Mark starts to worry about her. Every night he thinks about Emily. He thinks, "Why is this little girl so sad? What happened to her? Where is her family?" He does not know the answer yet, but he wants to help her. He wants to see her smile just one time. One cold morning, it is raining very hard outside. The sky is dark and gray. Emily gets on the bus. Her shoes are wet. Her hair is wet too. She does not have an umbrella. She sits down quietly, like always, near the back. But this time, Mark sees something new. In his mirror, he sees a tear on her face. Just one small tear, falling down her cheek. Mark feels something break in his heart. He thinks, "I need to do something. This girl needs help. I cannot just watch her be sad every day." He does not know it yet. But this small, rainy morning will change 2 lives forever. It will change Mark's life. And it will change Emily's life too, in a way nobody expects. What happened to Emily? Why is she so sad and alone? And what will Mark do next? Stay with me, friends, because this story will touch your heart. That rainy morning, Mark decides he cannot wait anymore. When all the children leave the bus at school, he stays in his seat for a moment. He watches Emily walk into the building. She walks slowly, with her head down. She does not look at any other children. She does not look happy to be at school. That afternoon, Mark talks to the school secretary. Her name is Mrs. Davis. He asks her, "Do you know anything about the new girl, Emily?" She seems very sad. Mrs. Davis looks at her computer. She finds Emily's file. She tells Mark some information, but not too much because it is private. Mrs. Davis says, "Emily's parents got divorced 3 months ago. She used to live in another city with her old friends and her old school. Now she lives here in a new house with just her mom. Her mom works 2 jobs. She is very busy and very tired." Mark feels sad when he hears this. He thinks about how hard this must be for Emily. New city, new school, new house, no friends, and her family is broken. That is a lot of change for a 9-year-old girl. Mark remembers his own childhood. When he was young, his family also had a hard time. His father lost his job. They had to move to a smaller house. Mark remembers feeling alone and scared, just like Emily probably feels now. He remembers one teacher who was kind to him during that hard time. That teacher's name was Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson always said something nice to Mark every day. It was small, but it helped Mark feel less alone. Mark thinks, maybe I can be like Mr. Wilson for Emily. The next morning, Mark drives his bus to Emily's street. He sees Emily standing alone at the bus stop. Her mom is not there. She already left for work. Emily looks small and cold, standing by herself in the morning light. When Emily gets on the bus, Mark says, "Good morning, Emily. I like your backpack. Is that your favorite color, blue?" Emily looks up, surprised. Nobody usually talks to her about small, simple things like this. She looks at her backpack, then at Mark. She says nothing, but she does not look away this time. She looks at him for 2 full seconds before walking to her seat. It is not much, but for Mark, it feels like progress. Every day after that, Mark says one small, kind thing to Emily. "I like your shoes today." "Did you have a good weekend?" "It's sunny today, isn't it nice?" He does not ask big questions. He does not ask about her parents or her sad face. He just talks to her like a normal friend every single day, with patience. For the first 2 weeks, Emily says nothing back. She just listens. But Mark notices something. She starts to look at him when he talks. She starts to sit a little closer to the front of the bus, not all the way at the back anymore. Small changes, but real ones. One morning, something amazing happens. Mark says, "Good morning, Emily. I like your jacket." And Emily very quietly says, "Thank you." 2 words, just 2 small words. But for Mark, it feels like a huge victory. After Emily says thank you for the first time, things start to change slowly. Not fast, but slowly, day by day, like a small plant growing in the sun. The next week, Mark asks Emily a simple question. "What is your favorite subject at school, Emily?" Emily thinks for a moment, then she says quietly, "I like art." Mark smiles big. "Art? That's wonderful. I can't draw at all. My drawings look like a baby made them." Emily looks at him, and for the first time, something happens that Mark has been waiting for. Emily smiles. It is small, just a tiny smile, but it is real. Mark feels so happy in that moment. He thinks, there it is. There is the smile I have been waiting for. From that day, Emily starts to talk a little more every day. She tells Mark about her drawings. She tells him she likes to draw animals, especially horses. She says she wants a horse someday, but she knows that will probably never happen because horses are expensive and her family does not have much money now. One morning, Emily looks especially tired. Her eyes are red again, like she did not sleep well. Mark asks gently, "Are you okay today, Emily?" Emily is quiet for a long time. The bus is loud with other children, but between Mark and Emily, there is a quiet space. Finally, Emily says, "My mom was crying last night. She thinks I didn't hear her, but I did. She was crying about money. We don't have enough money for things." Her voice is small and shaky. Mark does not know exactly what to say, but he says, "That sounds really hard, Emily. I'm sorry you heard that. It's not your job to worry about money. That's the adult's job. Your job is just to be a kid and maybe draw some more horses." Emily looks at him and her eyes fill with tears, but this time they are not only sad tears. They are tears of relief because finally somebody understands her. After this conversation, Mark starts to think more seriously. He thinks, this family needs more help, not just kind words. Maybe I should do something more. That weekend, Mark talks to his wife, Linda, about Emily. Linda has heard about Emily before because Mark talks about her every night at dinner. Linda says, "Mark, I know you care about this little girl. Maybe we should do something to help her family, not just talk to her on the bus." Mark agrees, but he does not know exactly what to do yet. He does not want to make the family feel embarrassed, like they need charity. He wants to help in a way that feels normal and respectful, not like pity. Mark decides to start small. Every Friday, he begins bringing an extra snack on the bus for any kid who is hungry. He gives snacks to several children, not only Emily, so nobody feels singled out, but he makes sure Emily always gets one too. He also starts saving small art supplies from a local store, colored pencils, a small notebook for drawing. He gives them to the whole class as a surprise sometimes, again, so Emily does not feel different from other kids. But these small gifts mean the most to her. Weeks pass and Emily starts to look different on the bus. She still does not talk a lot, but she smiles more. She brings her drawing notebook every day, and sometimes she shows Mark her newest drawing before she gets off the bus. One day, she shows him a drawing of a school bus with a smiling driver inside. Under the drawing, in small letters, it says, "Mr. Mark, my friend." Mark feels tears in his own eyes when he sees this drawing. He puts it on his dashboard right next to his steering wheel where he can see it every single day. But not everything is easy. One morning, Emily gets on the bus, and Mark immediately knows something is wrong. Her face is pale. Her hands are shaking a little. She does not say good morning back to him. She walks straight to her seat and sits down, looking at the floor. At school, later that day, Mark hears some news from Mrs. Davis, the secretary. Emily's mom called the school that morning. She said they might need to move again, to a different city, because she lost one of her 2 jobs. The restaurant where she worked closed down suddenly. Mark feels his heart drop when he hears this. He thinks, no, not now. We just started to help her feel better. If she moves now, all of this will be for nothing. That afternoon, when school finishes, Mark watches Emily walk to the bus. She looks even sadder than before, like all her progress disappeared in one single day. When she sits down, Mark says softly, "Emily, are you okay? You seem upset today." Emily looks up, and this time she cannot stop her tears. She says, "We might have to move again. My mom lost her job. I don't want to leave. I finally have a friend here." She looks directly at Mark when she says this last part. Mark feels his throat tighten. He says, "Emily, listen to me. Whatever happens, you are a strong, smart, kind girl. And you will always have people who care about you, no matter where you live." But inside, Mark is thinking hard. He does not want Emily to move away. Not now. Not after everything they built together. That night, Mark talks to his wife, Linda, again. He tells her everything. The lost job, the possible move, Emily's tears on the bus. Linda listens carefully. Then she says something that surprises Mark. "Mark, you know my cousin owns a small restaurant downtown, right? The one that's always looking for good workers? Maybe Emily's mom could work there. It's not a permanent solution to everything, but it could help right now, today, this week." Mark feels a small light of hope. He says, "Do you think she would say yes? I don't even know if she would accept help from people she barely knows." Linda says, "We won't know until we try. Let's at least offer. Sometimes people need help, but they are too proud or too tired to ask for it themselves. We just need to offer it kindly without making her feel bad." The next morning, Mark decides he will try to talk to Emily's mom directly for the first time when she comes to pick up Emily after school, instead of Emily walking home alone that day. That afternoon, Mark sees Emily's mom for the first time up close. Her name is Jessica. She is standing near the school entrance, waiting for Emily. She looks exhausted. There are dark circles under her eyes. Her clothes are simple, a little old, but clean and neat. She looks like a woman who works very hard, but cannot catch a break. Mark walks over to her slowly. He says, "Hi, are you Emily's mom? I'm Mark. I drive the school bus." Jessica looks surprised, maybe a little worried. Parents sometimes worry when a bus driver wants to talk to them. They think something bad happened. She says quickly, "Is everything okay? Did Emily do something wrong?" Mark shakes his head fast. No, nothing like that. Emily is wonderful. Actually, that's why I wanted to talk to you. I've gotten to know her a little on the bus this year. She's a really special kid. Jessica's face softens a little, but she still looks confused about why a bus driver wants to talk to her personally. Mark continues, carefully choosing his words. "I heard from the school that you might need to move because of work. I just wanted to say my wife's cousin owns a restaurant downtown, and they are looking for good workers. I don't know if you're interested, but I wanted to mention it, just in case it helps." Jessica is quiet for a moment. Her eyes fill with tears, but she tries to hold them back. She says, "Why would you do this for us? You don't even know us." Mark answers honestly, "Because Emily is one of the kindest kids on my bus, and because everyone needs a little help sometimes. I'm not trying to fix everything. I just wanted to offer something small, if it could help even a little." Jessica wipes her eyes quickly. She says, "This year has been so hard. The divorce, the move, losing my job. I feel like I'm failing my daughter every single day." Mark says gently, "You are not failing her. You are working 2 jobs to take care of her. That's not failing. That's fighting for her. Emily knows that, even if she doesn't say it out loud." Jessica looks at Mark for a long moment. Then she says, "Okay, yes, I would like to talk to your wife's cousin about the job. Thank you, Mark. Really, thank you." That same week, Jessica goes to the restaurant downtown. Linda's cousin, a kind man named Tom, interviews her. He likes her right away. She is polite, hardworking, and honest about her situation. He offers her a job as a waitress with good hours that match Emily's school schedule. It is not a magic solution to all of Jessica's problems. She still works hard. She still worries about money sometimes, but it is one good job with one steady schedule in the same town where Emily already has a friend, a routine, and a tiny bit of stability. For the first time in months, Jessica feels like maybe, just maybe, things are starting to get a little easier. With Jessica's new job, life starts to feel a little more stable for Emily's family. They do not have to move to a new city. Emily stays in the same school. She stays on Mark's bus. And most importantly, she stays close to the friends she is finally starting to make. Over the next few months, Emily continues to grow more confident. She talks more, not just to Mark, but to the other kids on the bus too. One girl named Sophie starts sitting next to her. They talk about drawing together. It turns out Sophie loves art too. Slowly, Emily starts to have a real friend her own age, not just an adult friend on the bus. Mark watches all of this happen with so much joy. Every morning, he sees Emily get on the bus with a small smile already on her face, even before he says good morning. Every afternoon, she talks excitedly about her day, about her drawings, about Sophie, about a fun thing that happened in class. One day, Emily brings a special drawing for Mark. It is bigger than her usual drawings, made with extra care. It shows a school bus with Mark driving and many children inside, all smiling and laughing. At the top, in big, colorful letters, it says, Thank you for being my friend when I had none. Mark has to pull the bus over for a moment because his eyes fill with tears, and he cannot drive safely while crying. The other children ask, "Mr. Mark, are you okay?" He laughs and wipes his eyes. "Yes, kids, I'm okay. Sometimes happy things make grown-ups cry, too." Months pass, and the school year continues. Emily is doing well in her classes now, especially in art. Her teacher even enters one of her drawings into a small local art contest for children. Nobody expects much, but a few weeks later, exciting news arrives. Emily's drawing wins second place in the whole county. The local newspaper wants to write a small article about the winning children. When the reporter talks to Emily, she asks her, "What inspired this drawing?" Emily's drawing, the one in the contest, shows her bus driver smiling with the words, "Kindness changes everything," written carefully around the edge. Emily tells the reporter the whole story, in her own simple words. About being new and sad, about Mark talking to her every day, about her mom getting a new job, about finally feeling happy again in this town. She says, "Mr. Mark didn't have a big job to fix everything. He just talked to me every day, like I mattered. That's what changed everything for me." The reporter is touched by this story. She decides this is not just a small art contest article anymore. This deserves a bigger feature story about kindness in their community. The reporter, whose name is Karen, decides to write a full article about Mark, Emily, and their unusual friendship. She visits the school, she talks to the principal, the secretary, Mrs. Davis, and several other kids on the bus. Everyone tells the same story. Mark is more than just a bus driver. He is a person who pays attention. He is a person who notices when someone is hurting. The article gets published in the local newspaper with the title, "The Bus Driver Who Sees Every Child." It includes Emily's award-winning drawing and a photo of Mark standing next to his big yellow bus, smiling his usual warm smile. The article spreads quickly around the small town. People start talking about it at the grocery store, at church, at the local diner. Parents start telling their own children, "Did you hear about Mr. Mark, the bus driver?" Many parents who never paid attention to bus drivers before suddenly start waving and saying thank you to him every morning and afternoon. The school principal, impressed by everything she reads and hears, decides to organize a special school assembly. The whole school, all the students, teachers, and many parents gather together one Friday afternoon to celebrate kindness in their community, with Mark as the guest of honor. At the assembly, the principal speaks first. She says, "Sometimes the most important people in a child's life are not the ones with the biggest titles. Sometimes it's the person who says good morning every single day, who notices a sad face, who chooses kindness even when nobody is watching." Then she invites Emily to come up and speak. Emily, now much more confident than the silent, scared girl from months ago, walks up to the microphone. Her mom, Jessica, watches from the audience with tears already falling down her face. Emily says, "When I moved here, I felt like nobody saw me. I felt invisible and so alone. But Mr. Mark saw me. Every single day, he said something kind, even when I didn't answer back. He never gave up on me. Because of him, I have friends now. I have a school I love, and my mom has a good job too. One person being kind changed everything for my whole family." The whole assembly room is silent for a moment, then erupts into loud applause. Many people, including teachers and parents, wipe tears from their eyes. The principal then asks Mark to come up and say a few words. Mark, never comfortable with too much attention, walks up slowly. He says simply, "I didn't do anything special. I just talked to a kid who needed someone to talk to her. Any of us can do that. For anyone. Anywhere. That's all kindness really is. After the assembly, something beautiful happens. Parents and teachers start a new community program inspired by this story. They call it See Every Child, a program where volunteers commit to noticing and supporting kids who seem lonely or struggling, both at this school and eventually at other schools nearby. A year passes since that rainy morning when Mark first noticed a tear on a quiet little girl's face. Today, Emily is a completely different child. She laughs loudly. She has many friends. She still loves art and she still draws horses. But now she also draws her friends, her mom, and yes, still sometimes her favorite bus driver too. Jessica still works at Tom's restaurant. She got a small raise after working hard for several months. Things are not perfect. Life never is perfect, but they are steady, and steady feels wonderful after such a hard year. Mark still drives his school bus every single day. He still says good morning to every child with the same warm smile he always had. But now he carries something extra with him. The knowledge that one small habit, talking kindly to someone every day, can completely change a person's life. The See Every Child program that started at Emily's school spread to 3 other schools in the area within just 1 year. Dozens of volunteers now spend time with children who seem lonely, sad, or left out. Many of those children, just like Emily, slowly start to open up, to smile more, to feel less alone in this big, sometimes difficult world. Emily's drawing, the one that started this whole journey, still hangs in the school hallway with a small sign next to it that says, "Kindness changes everything." Hundreds of students walk past it every single day, and many of them stop, even for just a few seconds, to read those words and remember what they mean. This story reminds us of something so simple, yet so easy to forget in our busy lives. We never know how much our small actions can mean to someone else. A simple good morning, a kind word, noticing when someone seems sad. These things might feel tiny to us, but for someone struggling silently, they might be the exact thing that changes everything. So here is my question for you today. Is there someone in your life right now, maybe a coworker, a neighbor, a classmate, who seems a little quiet, a little sad, a little alone? Maybe today is the day you say something kind to them. You never know. You might be their mark. I really hope this story touched your heart today, the way it touched mine while I was writing it for you. If you enjoyed today's episode, please give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow. And if you are new here, please subscribe to Ginger English so you never miss our next story, while also improving your English skills along the way. Please also share this video with someone who needs a little kindness reminder today. You never know who might need to hear this story exactly now. Thank you so much for listening today, friends. I'm Sarah, and I will see you in our next episode here on Ginger English. Take care of yourselves, and please be kind to one another.